All right, welcome back to the Batting 500 podcast. Jeremy and Trenton are here, and we are going to do an update episode on the World Baseball Classic. This tournament's been awesome so far. Tried to watch as many games as possible. It's hard. Some of the games are really early in the morning, so trying to get up and watch them, but it's been a great tournament so far. We've had a lot of just crazy storylines, which we'll get into, but I wanted to start off with USA is in Puerto Rico. We kind of knew USA would get in. We knew Japan would get in. Dominican Republic, same thing. Venezuela was kind of a
heavy favorite.
Pretty sure
moved along very nicely.
Exactly.
I mean, the beautiful thing is baseball. You got to play it right.
Right.
And like he was saying, there's upsets all the time. You never know what's going to happen. Obviously, we believe in USA.
Well, and I mean the big thing too. We've seen it here with some shocking games. You just got to win one game. And sometimes it's even you just got to win the ninth inning. I mean, you just win one inning and you're done. Like, we've won the game. So you look at, that's what we did with Mexico. We won one inning, got 5 runs, and then we survived them. So
yeah, because we almost lost that game to Mexico. There was a couple moments in the game where I was like, man, we might actually lose this game if Duran gets up there one more time. I mean, he's already hit 2 of them on us.
Yeah, you're holding your breath the whole time, like, oh,
right.
Okay, just survive. Let's go.
Yeah, and I mean, we all know Jarren Duran is a great player. He's been great in the MLB, but I guess I wasn't expecting that, against our pitching, our depth at pitching. Like, man, he ate our lunch. It was crazy. He played awesome.
Yeah, I think the interesting thing about the WBC is, lack of pitching depth. A lot of these games are decided because, they use their quality starters and their quality relievers. And then you get later on in the games and, you're not necessarily using the best pitchers. So that's why these things can really flip easily. It just takes one pitcher having a bad day. And you've got some of these guys are double A pitchers. I know Italy has a couple of them. So you just never really know what's going to happen, and that's what's exciting about it,
Right.
Well, and then if you're teeing off on an ace, I mean, you look at Great Britain. That's why they took us. It took us so long to beat them. I mean, they're hitting off a Skubal right out the gate. So it's one of those. If you start hitting off with somebody who thinks going to be the ace, then it could change the entire parameter of the game. Where
absolutely.
now you're chasing them.
Yep, and the other crazy thing is, we're used to watching series of baseball. During the regular season, you get a 3 or 4 game series. Sometimes they have a 2-game series, but then you get into the playoffs, you got the 5-game series, a 7-game series, like
3-game, 5-game, 7.
Yeah, so. Like these are not series; these are one and done. Mm-hmm. So if you have a bad night, that's that. It's over. And
you pull out all the tricks for this. I mean, that's
right.
That's what it is. It's like football where. It's just one time you're going to see each other, and you got to pull out all the trick plays, everything you can in order to hit, tee off, figure out how these guys are pitching to you, whatever you can.
Yeah, and it makes it really exciting because anyone can win a 1-game series. It really comes down to that depth, which is why we see teams like Japan and the USA typically move on and get to the championship, is because they're just so deep that if someone is having a bad night, get them out of there, get a new guy in. And you're still playing at a top tier level. So
yeah, if we can chase them off the mound, then it's our game.
So. Right. And that's what scared me about Duran. He about chased the whole USA team off the mound.
yeah, that was pretty sweet.
One of the teams that got eliminated, Czechia. I wanted to talk about you brought it up, and I think it's an awesome story. The pitcher Ondrej Satoria. This guy. Man, the ovation that he got at the end of that Japan game, or not the end, but when he got pulled out of the Japan game, was just unreal. I mean, this guy, so he pitched in the 2023 World Baseball Classic, and he struck out Shohei Ohtani with a 72-mile-an-hour changeup. Now, this guy is a electrician.
Yeah.
He is a full-time electrician. That's what he does for a living, and he plays baseball for Czechia when they go to the tournament. That's
their entire team. Their entire roster is just average Joes that play baseball. And once the World Baseball Classic comes around, that's where they play. They come out and say, "Okay, we're going to represent our team." And they made the tournament. They're in pool play. They get to play against Japan and give them everything they can. So I think it's a really cool story for him. I mean, he gets to hang that up on his wall that he struck out Ohtani. I'm sure he's got a picture of him doing it, and then. I mean, like you said, he just had such a lights-out performance that everyone in the Tokyo Dome gave him the standing ovation. Just congratulations. Like, you really made a difference. You were a solid player, even though you're not an MLB player.
And I believe did he pitch 4 1/3 innings or 4 2/3 innings?
I think it was 4 1/3, but I'm not positive. But just think about owning your own electrician company or something. I mean, I picture a giant mural on the front of it of him striking out Shohei Ohtani. Imagine all the creative things that you could market your business as. Yeah. Well, you won't strike out.
Yeah. Strike out electronics or something.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's crazy. So in the 2026 World Baseball Classic, he pitched 8 1/3 innings with a 0 ERA. That's crazy. You're playing against the best talent in the world. This guy's an electrician full time and did not give up a single run in 8 1/3 innings. Like, just crazy.
It just shows like these MLB players expect faster speed. I mean, honestly, that's what it kind of comes down to. So it's something you probably put in your back pocket as an MLB team. Like, oh, this guy doesn't like slower balls. Let's get one sub 70 and see what he does with it.
Yeah,
give him the old worker.
Yeah, when your fastball is 80 miles an hour, and these guys are used to seeing 90 to 100 miles an hour. That's why a lot of these guys strike out when a position player comes in to pitch at the end of the game.
Right. It's a really hard adjustment. You get so dialed in to hitting at a certain speed, a range of speed. So when something's way out of that, it's just so hard to adjust back and adjust your bat speed, adjust your body swing. Like, it's so hard. And like you said, you see guys, a position player comes in at the end of a game for just to finish a game off and it strikes out 2 or 3 guys. It's weird.
Well, and then you have the same thing with knuckleballs where you're looking for that speed off the ball, the velocity, the spin, and then there's nothing there. It screws with people's perception and it screws with your eyes. You're used to one thing over and over and over again. And then when it changes up so drastically, that's when you're swinging out of your cleats and you're like, I was so far ahead of that one. What happened?
Yeah, and so in his final game, he's retiring after this, or he's retired now. The game's over.
Well,
but
after having a 0 ERA,
right,
that's what I would do.
He
just get a belt,
right? The BMF belt. He did. It was 4 2/3 innings against Japan. He struck out 3 and only allowed 6 hits against Team Japan.
Yeah,
Team Japan is absolutely stacked. They won this tournament last time. They're the second favorite to win it this year. I mean, this guy went out there and was just lights out. It's so cool to see. And like you said, like the standing ovation that he got from not just the Czechia people in the crowd, but from the Japanese people in the crowd, from the Japanese team. They all came out and clapping this guy. Like, I mean, it was really cool to see, man. It would give you goosebumps type thing,
How can you not be passionate about baseball, right?
Exactly. We all love baseball. That's why we do this.
That's why we're here.
Baseball's America's pastime. We love it. I wanted to get into next. I wanted to kind of talk about something that's never happened at the World Baseball Classic. And we saw it happen twice in the same day this year. We've never had a walk-off home run in this tournament. First of all, how unbelievable is that to begin with? I didn't believe it when they said it. I had to look it up because I was like, there's no way we've never had a walk-off.
Yeah, walk-offs are just a common thing in baseball.
Yeah,
it should have happened by now. How many of these tournaments have we had?
It's weird, but we've never had one until 2026. On March 7th, we had 2 of them. So the first one was Ozzie Albies. It was a crazy game. Netherlands was down 3-1 against Nicaragua. Down to the final pitch. There's 2 strikes on him, and they threw him a pitch, and there's 2 guys on base, and he cranked it out of the park. Unreal. It was so cool to watch because I remember listening to the broadcast and they were just kind of like, oh, we're down to our last pitch here, blah, 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 just kind of, it's out of the park.
As usual. And then all of a sudden it's, that thing's gone.
It was crazy. It was just unreal. It's so cool to watch. And Ozzie Albies is a great player. He's been a great second baseman for the Braves for quite a while now. He's still fairly young. I think he's 29, maybe 30, maybe. But the guy is he's a great player, and it was awesome to watch. The other one was Darell Hernaiz for Puerto Rico against Panama, and it was just a couple hours later, and we get another one, and it's just like, how do we go from not having any walk-offs in this tournament to having 2 within like a 4 or 5 hour stretch? Just crazy.
Well, and it seems like sports always does that, where it just goes in bunches, where something's never happened, then all of a sudden it's just, one happens and release the floodgates. We were having it left, right, and center. So it was really fun to watch.
Don't they always say that it comes in threes?
In threes.
I know it doesn't really count, but then Juan Soto also walked off, but it was for a mercy. but walked off with a home run, and I think they ended up winning 12-1 with that one.
Yep, and that was a big one too. Man, Juan Soto's had a good tournament.
Yeah,
he's looked really good. Let's get into a couple storylines here. So, first of all, Dominican Republic's lineup is just unreal. This team, I mean, it's like playing a video game. You know, like when you remember when you're a kid and you're playing the MLB The Show and you trade all the best players to one team, you start your career. You know, like that's what it looks like out there. I mean, these are like top to bottom. It's just stacked.
Dominican Republic, United States, and Japan just feel that way. And I mean,
right.
You watched a lot of these games. That's why it's so interesting to see these closer games with these teams, like the Japan-Australia game that was close, the America-Great Britain game. Like, when you can keep a team that's perennial all-stars, hey, this is what you would draft on your team. Like, I'm going to plug and play everybody I can on MLB The Show, so I'm playing as this roster. And then you actually take them really close to the distance. It's kudos to your country, first and foremost.
Oh, absolutely.
And second, and most importantly, it's one of those wake-up calls, too, for the other country. All because you have all this talent. You don't perform and you don't execute, you're going to end up out of the dance. So,
yep.
Yeah, I know it's not a win, but it kind of feels like a win. You know, Australia having Japan down like that, and was it the 8th inning? I'm not quite sure, but man, just that feeling of, you know, just holding Japan at bay,
right?
Kind of feels like a win.
Oh, absolutely, it does. I mean, you've got to be, you know, like you said, it feels like when, even though you didn't win the game in the end, you've got to walk away from that game feeling pretty proud. Like, hey, man, we went up against one of the best teams in the entire world,
and they won it last
and we
year.
competed.
Mm-hmm.
These are these are the defending champions. Like, and we competed with them. We were right there till the end. Like, just awesome, dude. Couple of close games actually. Mexico and United States. We kind of touched on that one already.
Survived them. That was all it came down to.
That's all it was.
Survived them.
Yep. We had the Chinese is it Taipei?
Taipei.
Yeah.
The Chinese Taipei and Korea. That one went 5-4. That was in the 10th inning. So, I mean, extra innings. That's a thriller, dude. Panama, Canada. That was 4-3. Panama won that one. Colombia, Panama 4-3. Colombia won that one. And then the other one we touched on was that Nicaragua Netherlands game, the one that ended in the walk off. Like, doesn't get any closer than that.
Yeah.
Nope.
Yeah.
Final pitch of the game, crank one out. I mean, that game was so cool. I remember watching it. I was in the middle of doing some other things, and I looked over because I could hear him saying like, "Oh, we're down to our last pitch." And I looked over to check the score again one more time, you know, and all of a sudden he hit it, and I was just like, "Oh, wow,
that one could
go. That's gone." Like,
yeah.
The Dominican Republic team, back to them. So first of all, this team is managed by Albert Pujols. You're already off to a great start.
Yep.
Like, I mean, and then you've got guys like Juan Soto, Julio Rodriguez, Vladdy Jr. I mean, this team is just stacked. Tatis. Yep. I mean, just crazy lineup. They're averaging almost 9 runs per game.
Yeah.
Almost 9 runs per game. That's crazy.
And they're centered on, you know, that I saw an interview where they're kind of talking about it. They're gonna have fun. They said they're gonna have fun and they're gonna be loud, and it's showing. They are out there having a good time, and it just kind of goes to show you like the difference between having a good clubhouse and that vibe that you have. You can't measure it, but when everybody's vibing together and you've got that fun, I mean, it's a game.
Yes.
It's a game that you love to play. And when the pressure's off and you guys can all caught up, man, it's just been exciting to watch.
Oh, absolutely.
That's what's made the Brewers special. The average Joe's having fun and
right.
ended up winning games left and right. So it's
something,
if you can bring that to a big team that's supposed to do something and you just have that relaxing environment, you don't take anything too seriously, and then the next at bat you crush it because you're not so worried about, okay, well, I have to perform. I'm just playing a game. I'm having fun.
Right.
I think so many of these guys that are out there are going to have monster starts to the season. They've already got their blood flowing. They're already excited about the game. You know, they've got, you know, some pressure situations coming up. It's not that slow roll into the season like it normally is with spring training. They're out there competing. And I do think that's going to carry over for a lot of these guys.
Well, the thing I'm really excited to see is I think the hitting is going to be really good because you're going to have a lot of these guys hitting. But I'm really interested to see these ace pitchers who've got the chance to play and pitch. They're going to be coming out ready to go. Like,
oh, yeah.
I mean, you're talking about, all right, you're getting your arm up to mid-season form right now, and then you have that playoff environment, the extra juice, and then you're going to go into the opening day. It's going to be lights out juiced balls left, right, and center. For these guys who are aces, you're going to see them have, I think they're going to have phenomenal seasons because they're going to start so fast compared to the rest of spring training where it's, all right, yeah, it's just a normal game in Arizona, normal game in Florida.
Right.
And then you're playing for the world stage right now. And you can't say that nationalism doesn't matter. I mean, you look at hockey. We just had U.S. win gold in hockey, women's hockey. Now you're in the World Baseball Classic, and you listen to these guys talk about Japan winning it 3 years ago and taking that as a personal insult from the United States. Well, we're not going to let that happen again. We're actually going to come out and play. And then you even have Tarik Skubal, who's like, I'm thinking about doing another game because I didn't realize how important it was and how I would feel playing against Great Britain and realizing the impact and the importance of that moment.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah. And you know, in previous WBCs, a lot of guys didn't really want to go play. You know, they wanted to stay and do spring training. They felt like it wasn't really very important. And I think you're right. I think with that loss to Japan last year, a lot of these guys, or 3 years ago, a lot of these guys are, you know, nah, that ain't happening. Team USA is coming out swinging. And you can see it. I mean, it's the dream team. I mean, these guys are out there and they're putting their body on the line. And I did see something from De La Rosa, the manager of the Team USA. He did say that, you know, one thing they do have to do that a lot of these other teams don't have to is they have very, very strict rules that are stricter than the WBC's rules because of these players coming from other teams. So some of these pitchers might not be able to pitch 50 innings, even though the WBC says they can pitch, you know, 60 to 65.
Right.
So they do have to respect the teams and their wishes. So it does make it a little difficult when it comes to relievers and the number of innings or the number of pitches they're allowed to throw, the number of up downs. They have to be a little bit more tight and a little more strict on that.
I wanted to get into Paul Skenes a little bit. So Paul Skenes, he set a record for the most strikeouts in a single pool play start for Team USA. He had 7 Ks in 4 innings. The guy was as electric as he always is. I mean, he's the best pitcher in baseball right now, hands down. I mean, you could argue whoever you want, but I just don't. That's not an argument you're going to win. Paul Skenes is so unbelievable, and to go out there again, these are the best players in the world, all teamed up on their country's team. And to throw 7 Ks in 4 innings, that's crazy. I mean, what were your thoughts when you saw that game? Like just seeing the way he's pitching against these guys.
Get to go from Team America to Pittsburgh. Like, yeah. I'm so sorry for Paul Skenes. You're going from phenomenal talent and you're going to win these games and you have a really good shot at it. And then now you're going to go to Pittsburgh.
Yeah, it is pretty crazy, but you know, Pittsburgh did try to add some pieces this year. They really did. Yeah, go ahead and take over.
Well, no, I mean, I was just gonna say they didn't sleep this season. They really did add a few pieces, and they've got the top prospect coming up, which I'm sure he'll make the team. I made sure to pick him up on my fantasy team.
I saw that.
Yeah, right away. And if he doesn't start it off right away, give him a couple of weeks, he'll be up. But I can't really see any negative to bringing that kid up right to start the season.
No. Well, I mean, you're talking about a team that's already trying to figure out their foreground of where they're going to be. And Paul Skenes, I mean, the reason why the Pittsburgh Pirates actually went out is because Paul Skenes has made waves and said, why aren't we trying to win? What are we doing?
Right,
and
right.
He's put more pressure and heat under the ownership of the Pirates' feet. We need to get a winner. Look at me. I'm not getting any younger. First and foremost, I'm going to be playing lights out. You're talking about less than a 2 ERA when he's playing MLB games. Every time he's starting, you have your ace on the mound. Let's get us some hitting talent and win something. And I think it's going to end up, if we can get a Pittsburgh Pirates team, I know this is kind of getting more MLB oriented, but if you can get a team to buy in like that, where they're going to start getting talent, it's going to put more feet to the fire of this MLB floor, I think, for sure. And then it's going to make these teams that are ruining baseball, the teams that aren't spending money, actually start spending money, because that's what us fans want, and that's what we deserve. We deserve our teams to be like the Mets, to be like the Dodgers, where you're finally spending money and you're trying to win year after year instead of, all right, we're just going to embrace the suck every year, but we got a great ballpark and it's lovely to go watch, and seats are cheap all year round.
Yeah. Another player I wanted to talk about who's kind of had a breakout tournament is Travis Bazzana. He's the 2024 #1 overall pick. He was picked by the Cleveland Guardians. He's a second baseman, kind of a mid infielder. He can play some shortstop. He's primarily a second baseman. He hasn't really done a whole lot in the MLB yet, which is kind of disappointing because some of the guys in his class are already up there playing and performing at a high level.
He's already playing on a Cleveland Browns team that has a really good shortstop. Oh, sorry. Whatever. Indians, that's what they should be. Anyway, he's playing on the Cleveland team, and they already solidified at shortstop and second base. So it's one of those things. Right. It was one of those. He gets a chance to kind of perfect his craft, but now this is kind of an eye-opening, like we talked about on the previous WBC. It's going to be that chance for some of these younger guys to actually pop off the page. And I think this is going to be good for him and the Guardians because it's going to force teams to go, hey, that guy's really good and he can play now. So we'll give you trade offers, or either you get the trade offers and get him off your team, or you start him now for your team and put him into the rotation. So you're splitting second baseman duties with him because he's had a phenomenal WBC so far. I think he's really one of the guys, like you said, for Australia, he just popped off the page and was actually doing something.
Yeah. And he's had a really good tournament.
Well, he was only drafted 2 years ago. I mean, he needs some seasoning anyways. I mean, how many players come up and are in the MLB within 2 years?
Right. Not very many.
This, like you guys said, this gives him the world's eyes on him. And if they're not willing to move up, if they're not willing to move him up, other teams are going to be interested when it comes to a Rule 5 draft or any of those other things, and may force their hand to put him on the 40-man roster, and then you're just a phone call away.
Right. And that's, I guess to me, that's kind of like, I don't think he's a disappointment. Yeah, I think he's still a really good player. I think there's just some talk around the league that, hey, it's kind of a disappointment because some of the other guys that were drafted behind him are already up there and performing well. So it's like, well, you spent the number 1 pick on this guy. Why is he not up there? Well, A, the team is not ready for him to come up yet. They're already solidified in that position. And B, why bring him up if we don't need to yet? Why use his eligibility up?
Yep.
But I do think this tournament's really going to kind of force the Guardians' hands. Like, hey, like this guy's really good, and he just showed it in front of the world. So, like you said, it's either going to force them to kind of bring him up or possibly move him.
Yeah,
and get some prospects.
Come and trade him and say, hey, we want this guy on our team. He solidified our second base, and we want that on our team now. We know what you're hiding there, and on top of it, now it lets all the other teams in the MLB go, this guy has the closest thing you can get to playoff performance under his belt. And you can see how he's done under the biggest lights, under the pressure, and he's actually performed and balled out. So you're not going to get anything closer. And like we talked about before in the WBC intro package that we did, was these are going to be like playoff games. So you're going to have players that you actually get the chance. You're not going to have a chance if you're a team that's not spending money, if you're not constantly in the dance, to actually see these guys perform in playoffs. And then on top of it, you don't really want to start these younger guys where you're so worried that, oh, they might drop the ball and we really need to put our best foot forward in order to win these series. You get playoff experience right then and there. You get to see what the kid's going to do. And now you got all the teams looking at him and going, all right, we like that.
Right. So
it's going to kill me to hear the trumpets and see Edwin Diaz come out onto that field and close again.
Right, I know. So here's another storyline. So Tarik Skubal said he was only going to pitch 1 game in this tournament. Kind of a disappointment, but hey, I get it. Whatever. Do your thing. Then he comes out and he says, well, now he's not really sure. He might pitch another game, and it's like, well, okay, that's awesome, but we want to know, as Americans, we want to know, do we got this guy locked up or what? Because this changes the whole layout of the rotation. I mean, Noah McLean's going to get pushed now. Like, what's going to go on here, right? Well, then he comes back out and he says, nope, I'm not playing another game. But I want to read a quote. Tarik Skubal said, I underestimated what this meant. You see the flag on your chest and the fans going crazy. It's not spring training. I told the Tigers and Mark DeRosa, I'm not leaving. I want to see this thing through the final. So he did end up deciding to leave, but he came out and admitted, hey, I thought this was like an all-star game or like spring training. Like, I way underestimated what the WBC is. I think these guys get out there and they start feeling that emotion of like really representing your team or your country.
And then you have your fans. You have true patriots out there. There's nothing. There's no political. This is just a love of baseball and love of country. And you're going out there and you're doing your best to beat their best. And it's country versus country. And then you have the fans going out and paying cash and really rooting for your teams, where it just brings up that environment. It's like a playoff environment where every pitch matters, every at-bat matters, every double play, every leadoff. It's just what you have to do. You have to play small ball and win it, but you have to do everything right. And I think these guys just kind of wrote it off as though it's supposed to be some sort of spring training makeshift game.
Right.
Like, yeah, whatever. Right. And that's honestly why I think this should be more in the middle of the season. Get like NHL where you do the 4 nations. Give like 2 weeks where it's like the Olympics, 3 weeks where you have a really good break in between, so it allows your pitchers to rest up, your players that are getting more and more injured. And then on top of it, now you have everybody who's going to be in in-season form, and now it's going to be, all right, everyone's juiced up, ready to go, and we're going to get the best talent put forward, and we're really going to have some good competition out of this. And then it, like you said, Tarik, Skubal's looking at this as, oh, it's an all-star game. Well, if he already views this as more important than an all-star game, then maybe that's what we need to do, is put that in place of the all-star game every 2 to 3 years instead of doing this every 4 years, where it really gets that popularity up. And then you have kind of like a 4 nations face-off that the hockey's done, where it gets nationalism into the sport, and then you have more and more eyes watching your sport as well.
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree 100%. I think that this year is going to really put the WBC on the map. I know we touched on it a little earlier, and a lot of times our best didn't want to go play. Like you said, they looked at it as a spring training situation. It wasn't very important. But I think now, after this year, we're going to have more and more and more of our best wanting to pitch. They see Skubal out there. They see Skenes out there. They see these guys that they've idolized, and they're out there putting their body on the line. And I think that after this year, the best of the best is always going to want to go.
Well, right. So you already had it 3 years ago after we lost to Japan. I mean, the U.S. bought in full heart. Mm-hmm. How much more do you think these other players are going to buy in? So I think there was a lot more buy-in as well here within the last month, especially with us winning the United States, winning gold for female and men's. It got everybody. I mean, you as a baseball player, you as a fan, you're watching U.S. win gold, felt like miracle on ice. Right? So it just propelled this to the next level. So the WBC was already on the map because the Olympics went off the page and everybody was watching U.S. hockey, Canada hockey, go for gold, and we end up winning it. Now it's the WBC where we're going for another world title. So you got that nationalism on stage. So I'm really interested to see how it boosts the WBC's numbers. But most importantly, I think opening day is going to be phenomenal this year. I think the beginning of the season for MLB is going to be through the roof, because you watch the numbers after the NHL break because of the Olympics. Their numbers went up right afterwards because now everyone's watching hockey. They're interested in it. Well, what is this going to do for baseball? It's going to do the exact same thing, where the WBC is such a potent thing. And that's, I mean, like we said earlier, I feel like that's why this should go to the All-Star, because you're going to have this kind of buy-in, and it's going to happen in the middle of the season. Now you're going to see the best ball instead of, all right, well, we're still going through spring training, and you're going to have people who are lacking. You're going to have people watching for the WBC winner, and then right afterwards, we're going to go into important baseball for the playoffs.
Yep.
On a side note, really quick, I don't know if you guys saw, but the Olympics is bringing baseball back for 2028.
Perfect.
That's great. I think that's an awesome.
We can get nationalism, the more we can get patriotism for these countries, the more you're going to have fans really show up. Because, like you said, it's not just, so you look at the United States, and yeah, we've got a lot of people buying in, but you also have now the DR, you have Czech, you have Japan. You have a lot more baseball being played around the world because people are really rooting for their country. I mean, the Tokyo Dome, that's why we're getting so many Japanese players into MLB, is because it's such a huge sport for them. Now you have Ohtani playing over here. You have Suzuki. You have Yamamoto. You have more and more of these players. Some kid somewhere is going to see this game, maybe in Africa, maybe Great Britain, and you're going to see these kids that are going to go, I really like baseball and I want to play it. And it's not going to be America's pastime anymore. It's going to be the world's pastime. And they're going to go really hard into training and being the best baseball player. And then we're going to see the best talent we can actually see on the field, instead of it just being really heavy Dominican Republic, Mexico, United States.
And Japan, I mean, they eat, sleep, and breathe baseball. I mean, Japan's training regimes that they have for their young players and stuff are just out of this world. I mean, Japan puts out top tier talent all the time. The Japanese baseball league, or can't remember what it's called off the top of my head, but
NPB.
yeah, the NPB is not far off from what the MLB is in all reality.
It's like AAA.
Yes, it is very close, and like it's great baseball.
The Japanese fell in love with baseball right after World War II. I mean, we brought it over to them playing it in prison camps. Like, you're talking about, it's been intertwined in their society since we've been there. So it's one of those cool things to see how well they've taken to it, and they're progressing the game forward. And I think anything that progresses any of these games forward is better for us as fans. It's better for the sport, and it's going to be fun to watch.
Yep. Another thing I wanted to kind of hit on about this tournament is the attendance records. So in 2023, the tournament set a record of 1.3 million viewers, or not viewers, but in attendance. As we sit right now, and actually this is as of March 9th, not right now, but March 9th, the attendance has already reached 951,710 fans. It's absolutely going to break the record. There's no way. I mean, we've got how many games left, and we only need 400,000 more? That's crazy.
We haven't even gotten to the quarterfinals.
Right. This is just pool play.
Yeah. And this is just people in attendance.
Yep.
Right.
Just in attendance, not TV numbers, nothing like that. Yep. So a couple kind of key things here. So single game record for North America, the USA versus Mexico game in Houston, the park in Houston. So that one set a high bar of 41,628 fans in attendance.
Wow.
That's crazy. Tokyo Dome. So as expected, obviously, because it's Tokyo, it's Japan, like they love baseball there.
You can't even get tickets to any of the Japanese games. I was talking to somebody who was going to some games, and they had to buy the off. I mean, they still loved every second of it.
Oh yeah.
But they had to go to the other games to be able to experience
You're talking about Japanese heroes. I mean, like, this is the way they view their baseball players, as though these guys are heroes. I mean, there's a reason why all these pitchers who come from Japan are wearing 18, because that was the pitcher in Japan. That was the number. Like, that was who they idolized as kids. Now you have your Shohei Ohtani, you have Seiya Suzuki, you have Yamamoto, you have Roki Suzuki. I mean, you're looking at all these guys that are huge in Japanese culture, and they're selling out. I mean, they've proven these Japanese players, they come to these games over in the States. I mean, you might not think it, but the Dodgers do Japanese Heritage Month and Chinese Heritage Month and all these things for the players on the East to come over here, and they come out hot and heavy. I mean, there's a reason why you see a lot of these Japanese ads and whatnot in the United States, because they shell out for their players, and it's like a religion over there.
Yeah. The Tokyo Dome's drawing like the most consistent numbers. They're bringing 40,500 every single game.
I'm really interested to see how they bring those numbers to Dakin Park. I imagine these guys are going to travel very well.
I believe they will.
Japan is in pool play, and they're going to be in Houston. So
it's going to be sold out.
It's going to be sold out.
Every game.
Every game that Japan plays is going to be sold out. And if they make it to the World Finals, I mean, you're talking, there's going to be sellouts left, right.
Yep. So South Korea versus Taiwan drew 40,584 fans, while the opening game between South Korea and Australia drew 40,523. So, I mean, they are consistently 40,500. They're at capacity every single game. Just crazy. Some of the growth factors, so the tournament's growth, to put it in perspective, the Mexico versus Great Britain matchup in Houston drew 29,724 fans. That's almost double what the same matchup drew in the last tournament in 2023. Wow. It was 17,705. So I mean, this tournament is it's growing. It's getting bigger and bigger and bigger. And as bigger stars commit to playing for their teams, it's only going to keep growing. I mean, they're going to outgrow the stadiums they're playing in. We're going to have to find bigger stadiums. They're going to have to start playing in LA Dodgers Stadium and Yankee Stadium, and they're going to have to play in these bigger parks. Colorado Rockies has a big park. They're going to have to.
I think this is the real chance that we've gotten to see the actual numbers. Because, I mean, last time this happened, it was right after the vid.
Yep.
And so nobody was really going out and about. It was still kind of in that weird period of time. Now everyone's back. The world's back on par, and we're seeing the numbers, and people are coming out to watch baseball. They're coming out to watch the WBC as compared to what it was in 2021. So let's see how much more this grows, especially you're going to have, I think it's really going to be fun to look at the numbers after the final game and see total viewers, total people in attendance throughout this entire thing, because it's just going to show that people really came out to watch some good baseball.
Yep. And then also Houston. Houston's been a huge success. USA Mexico was a sellout, which makes sense. It's in Houston. It's in the United States, right next to Mexico. Like, obviously, that game was going to be a sellout. But
bring your trash cans.
But even USA versus Great Britain, 34,000. Yeah. They're USA Great Britain, 34,368. And then Brazil versus Italy pulled in 29,357. So, I mean, huge numbers for these games. The average attendance, so Tokyo Dome is averaging 41,000. Dakin Park is averaging 32,000 in Houston. Lone Depot Park in Miami is averaging 28,000. And Hiram Bithorn Stadium in San Juan, Puerto Rico is averaging 18,500. Now, I just want to throw this out there. That number is a little skewed, because their maximum capacity is about 19,000.
Well, so I think honestly these are all capacity games.
So they're pretty much maxed out.
You're talking about capacity stadiums. So I think what's going to be cool is at some point I would imagine the WBC is going to do like the Olympics, where they're going to start building their own stadiums.
Potentially,
so potentially, yeah. Do. Like, let's bring it around the world and have stadiums where we know a lot of people are going to be. I mean.
Yeah, I wanted to point that out about San Juan, because the number sounds really small compared to the rest, but that stadium's roughly 19,000. They're at like basically 100% capacity every game, and so like that's huge. I mean, these stadiums are selling out for this tournament. It's awesome. It's been a great tournament. I want to get into a couple key players so far in the tournament. Obviously, Shohei Ohtani. He's been lights out. I mean, the very first game of the tournament, he had a five RBI inning. He had a grand slam. Like, he's hitting 462 with 2 home runs and 7 RBIs. And he is strictly hitting in this tournament. He's not pitching.
Well, that's crazy. I mean, he's having this kind of game and he's hitting. He's not pitching the ball either. So
5 RBI inning.
Yeah, crazy.
Wow.
Luis Arraez for Venezuela, he's hitting 545. 2 home runs and 5 RBIs.
2 home runs from Arraez.
Yeah.
I don't know how many home runs he hit last year, but it had to have been like 10.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, he's a hit for average guy. I mean, but 545.
How many batting titles has he won?
I want to say 3.
I think he's won 3 back-to-back batting titles.
He has 4 doubles in just 3 games.
I can't believe it took him so long to get signed.
I know,
it
it's weird.
Didn't make any sense. But, you know, there's so much hate about him because of the way today's game has gone towards the long ball.
Yep.
It just seems like people don't care if you hit for a high average anymore. And it's super important. I don't understand the fandom.
Brewers will sign him.
Yeah. Paul Skenes for the USA. He's pitched 4 innings, 1 hit, 7 strikeouts, obviously a 0 ERA. I mean, just lights out. I mean, as a pitcher, you're only getting 1 or 2 games in this tournament total.
You got to make all of them count.
Right. And to go out there and throw 4 innings and only allow 1 hit, 7 strikeouts, that's almost 2 strikeouts an inning. That's crazy. I mean, just unreal.
That's doing your job as a pitcher.
Exactly.
I'm taking you guys out of the game for 4 innings. And what that really is.
And he's doing what we're used to seeing him do since he was at LSU. I mean, really, if you watched him in high school, if you were lucky enough to, he's been doing this his whole career. I mean, the guy doesn't give up hits, plain and simple.
Indianapolis Indians. I mean, he did it for them, the minor team for the Pirates. He's done it as a Pirate. You just, everywhere you go, you see his greatness shine through.
And then the other one is Dominican Republic, Junior Caminero. He's hitting for 400 average, 2 home runs, 6 RBIs. I mean, he's just been electric. He's been a spark plug for the Dominican Republic, and man, they don't need any more of them. I mean, they're just unreal. But
the very first scrimmage game or whatever where they played the Dodgers, I watched. It was Soto, Tatis, and Caminero all go back to back to back. It was pretty amazing.
Crazy.
You are playing against big league staff.
Well, I mean, it solidifies pitchers. If you had to pitch against those 3 and you crush it, you're getting a contract. I mean,
oh, absolutely.
You're talking about you can make or break a person's entire world with this game, where you go take out the biggest talent in the world and you got to face them all. I mean, you look at our roster, you got Aaron Judge, Witt, Schwarber. I mean, you're looking at these, you face 3 of these guys on a normal MLB season within a week, maybe, and you're like, all right, I just don't need to take out the one. Now you're getting these guys back to back.
They walked Judge to get to Schwarber.
Yeah.
I mean,
yeah, think about that. You walk Judge.
I don't want this guy, but I want the other power tank.
Yeah, you're like, oh, we really don't want to let Judge hit one, so we'll walk him. And then you look over and you're like, man,
I guess
Schwarber, like, can we walk him as well? Who's next?
Let's load the bases up. There, So actually, kind of a funny side story when McLean was pitching to Juan Soto in live BP, they battled. And I want to say it was like 13, 14 pitches, and McLean hit his pitch limit. So at the end of the battle, they did rock, paper, scissors to see who won.
That's awesome.
That's how competitive these guys are.
That's awesome.
I cannot wait to see it.
Who won the rock, paper, scissors game?
I really don't. I don't. But yeah, I guess that's what it comes down to. It was an interview I saw, and I don't think that they said it.
No,
in the interview.
They kept it secret. Yeah. No, that's awesome. I mean, I just, the path just seems to be lining up, and Japan doesn't feel quite as strong as they normally are, even though most of their games have been blowouts. But I feel like the level of competition they've been playing against isn't quite
not
as
like
comparable.
The United States or Dominican Republic have been playing. So it feels like, I think the closest match they had was Australia, and even that one shouldn't have been that close. I mean,
well, and I'm sure people will argue it. The U.S. is playing low level too. I don't want to say it's low level because all of these are the best players in the world in their countries. But I just feel like the pool that Japan is playing in isn't quite as strong as the other pools.
Baseball's just not as popular on that side of the earth. You know what I mean?
The Western Hemisphere is where it's at. So it's like we were saying earlier in the podcast, is it's getting more popular on the East.
It is.
And once it finally takes off there, it'll be fun to watch. But I mean, Japan is far leaps and bounds ahead of everybody else over on the Eastern continent versus us over here. It's bred India. I mean, you're talking about kids that Cuba, Puerto Rico, you're talking about kids that get mobbed up because, hey, you can run fast, you throw a ball good. We want to get you in the baseball so you can return our investment. Like, that's what you're talking about over here. It's so popular that drug dealers are, hey, let's get guys over here and we're going to sponsor your family. And once you get paid, you pay us back.
Well, and yeah, I mean, the Americas is really where baseball is huge. South America, Central America, North America, the Caribbean, like it's absolutely huge in those areas. And like you said, like you go over to the other side of the world and it's Japan and then everyone else. Yeah.
I'm a firm believer in competition drives excellence. And when you have more and more people playing it, you're gonna have better players. And on this side, you've got way more people playing baseball.
Yep.
And those people are pushing each other to do better. How many baseball players are in Australia?
I don't know.
So
I don't know.
To achieve excellence, how much competition do you have?
Right. It's hard because exactly at your minor or not minor league, but like your kid level and up through high school and college and all that, you're not seeing the kind of competition that you're seeing in America or Mexico.
That's why these Japanese players are coming over here. Because it's so profoundly in our culture versus over there, you only have the Japanese leagues and then what else do you have?
Well, and honestly, I think Japan's low-level training is better than America's.
It is pretty amazing. I got to play baseball in Japan when I was a kid, and it's incredible.
Right.
And the respect that they have for the game and for each other and the culture that they bring to the game is absolutely fascinating.
But again, they're the only country on that side of the world that takes baseball to that extreme. Like, so I think eventually, especially as this tournament keeps growing, let's not forget, this is a fairly new tournament. This isn't something that's been going on since the 30s or 40s. I mean, I think it started, in the early 2000s?
I'm honestly
let me look that up because I know it's a newer tournament, but
I think the late 90s. I know David Wright got to play for Team USA. So think of who some of the 2008.
Well, I think what you're talking about is actually Olympics. So the March 2006 is when the inaugural World Baseball Classic started. So it is a new tournament.
Did this one start right after the Olympics was no longer had baseball?
I wonder if they wanted to fill that void.
I think that's why it started.
Yeah, because everybody was wanting the Olympic baseball, but the Olympics said no more. And
right.
WBC said, screw you guys, we'll do our own thing then.
So if you think about it,
and I mean, they're every 4 years, so it makes sense that they would do this exactly like the Olympics.
Yeah,
I was going to say, if you think about it, we're going to get a major worldwide baseball competition every 2 years between the Olympics in 2028 and then the WBC in 2030.
Yep, and I am all for it. I think I love seeing this tournament. Like you said, this is the sixth. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, this is the sixth tournament so far, and I mean, I love baseball, so I would love to see it every year. But you also don't want to dilute it at all. You want to keep it fresh, and you know. But again, like you said, I didn't even realize the Olympics was bringing baseball back.
Yeah.
When you said that, I was kind of shocked. That's awesome. So yeah, every 2 years we're gonna get to see world stage baseball like that. That's awesome. And I just, this tournament being as new as it is, it's still growing. It's still in its teenage years right now. You know, and the fact that it's grown every single year, and like we went over the attendance numbers that are breaking records now, like you're gonna see baseball get bigger and bigger and bigger in some of these countries. Australia, those guys are gonna go home and they're gonna start training kids in their hometowns. They're gonna tell them, hey, you know, like, oh, I remember watching you on TV. Yeah, you could be the next me. I'm going to teach you. You know, like, and that's where it starts to grow, and it's going to get big. I think that side of the world is really going to start blowing up with baseball.
Well, and the big thing with competitions like this, so the Olympics and the WBC is also going to make it so that these countries spend more money. So you're going to see more baseball diamonds. You're going to see more training where the actual country itself puts money into the Olympic program, into training kids, into seminars, into having your pool hostess come over and, hey, let's give a training camp for this. Let's get a hitting coach over here. Let's get people who are professional from the United States to come over here and invest the time and the money into our talent pool and see what we can do. I mean, you're gonna eventually see this where it spreads. Like, you're gonna see more Great British teams. You're gonna see more Italy doing a lot better. You're gonna see Australia pop off. You're gonna see South Korea. You're gonna see these countries over there that are gonna embrace it, and they're gonna have some. I mean, you look at it. We haven't even tapped into India yet. I mean, they're really big on cricket, but what happens when you change the ball to a baseball and you start hitting that instead of cricket balls, and you get that with one of the biggest populations in the world to finally start watching it and get bought into it.
Yeah. It's definitely growing.
Have they competed to be part of the WBC? Because I know there's a whole competition before the WBC starts to figure out who's actually going to be in it. But I'm sure that there's a lot of countries out there that we don't know have teams that do compete.
Well, and you look at the populations for these teams, where these countries, if they start buying into it, you're going to have countries with millions of people like that are going to crawl out of the woodwork and be something that we never seen before. But you're having millions of people who right now aren't interested in it. They don't know anything about it. They know just the basic sports. So like you look at like Africa, where it's heavy boxing, and so it's really hard for these people to come out of. But like the big sports that you end up watching over there are nothing compared to what we're doing. India, like I said, cricket's big over there, but they're not watching baseball.
Right.
You get these people to start buying into, I mean, like you look at Japan, ended up buying in when we came over from World War II and had prisoners over there and started baseball, and it really sparked in their culture. Well, we didn't have that go on anywhere else over there in the East. So it's one of those, you can see it start blooming and see it start growing in these places, and you get it to be more, now all of a sudden inside of a park, you also have a baseball diamond there like we have in almost every park here in the United States. Well, what happens when that starts happening over there is you're going to have more and more talent, you're going to have more and more buy-in, and then on top of it, you're going to have countries that are going to dump a lot of money into this because they want the world's best.
Right. And no, India they've never competed in the World Baseball Classic. But let's finishing up here. So I'm taking the U.S. to win this thing.
I'm taking Dominican Republic.
Okay.
US.
I want the U.S. to win it, but I think it might be the Dominican Republic this year.
And don't get me wrong, I'm taking U.S. because I'm rooting for them.
Yeah. I mean, I'm taking them.
I feel like the U.S. has a chance to win this if we do it exactly like the Olympic hockey team, where we take this thing to the distance and get a walk-off. We walk it off, game's over, you can't do anything, too bad, so sad, we've won this thing. I don't see it being a blowout by any means. I see it being a hard-fought fight, and either we win in a walk-off or we win in overtime.
It's gonna be a close game. And I don't think runs are going to be scored until maybe the 7th inning.
Yeah, I agree with that. I think it's going to be a really close game.
The depth will be tested.
Yes, absolutely. Anything else you guys want to add here?
No, I think that's it.
All right. Well,
I think we covered a broad spectrum of everything.
Yeah. Like I said, this tournament is still in its teenage years. It's been an awesome tournament to watch, and it's fun, it's exciting. And now the games really get serious because now we're coming out of pool play. We're getting into the quarterfinal. It's one and done. You lose, you go home, you're done. So I'm excited to watch the rest of the games. If you guys are liking the content, make sure you subscribe, hit the like button. Let us know in the comments who you think's going to win this thing. You taking Team Dominican Republic, you taking USA, Japan. Let us know your thoughts, and thanks for watching.
Peace.